Hello friends, this is Ashirwad here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video we'll discuss about tokens in Python. Now, understanding tokens is very important in any programming language. In fact, I have made a separate video on tokens in my Java series, so you can check that out if you want. Things are a little different here in Python, so I thought to discuss this tokens topic as a separate topic. So that's why we are making this video. So let's start. Now, first thing first, what exactly is token? Okay, token is the smallest identifiable entity, or token is the smallest identifiable thing that a Python system can understand. So this is called as token. Now, tokens are categorized in these 5 categories. Okay, first is called as variable. It is also called as identifiers or identifier. The second category is called as keywords. Third is literals, operators. This is very important. And last is punctuators. We'll discuss all of them one by one. So let's discuss variables first. Now, when you write a Python statement like a, or say x is equal to 10, for example. Now, here x is a variable and 10 is its value, or you can say x holds the value 10, or you can say x stores the value 10. So whenever we write 10, say for example, if we write it with print statement, you can either write 10 here, 10 will be printed, and if you write x here, what will be printed? 10. So here x is treated as a variable. Okay, now what exactly is a variable? What would have happened inside the memory when you had typed this statement? Okay, so when you type x is equal to 10, or another statement, say for example y is equal to 20, you have two different variables. So when a variable is declared with a value, this is your memory. Okay, this is your primary memory, or simply RAM. So inside your primary memory, two memory blocks are created and they are named as X and Y. Each memory block has some unique address associated, with which we are not concerned right now, but you guys should know it. Okay, and of course this variable Y will also have a memory address. Okay, so X is a variable, means it is occupying a memory block in the memory, and inside that block we have a value 10. This 10 is coming from this place. Similarly, Y is another variable which is occupying another memory block at this address, and that memory block is holding the value 10, is storing the value 20 here. Okay, so this is what we call as variable. So once again, what is a variable? Variable is a name given to a memory location. It can be any name like x, y, z, p, q, or whatever you want, you can specify. But there are some rules of naming that you must follow when you are dealing with variables. Let's discuss them one by one. So we are in our idle screen, and let's create a variable first. X is equal to 10, and when you print x, it prints the value 10, of course, because x is currently holding the value 10. Can you change the value? Suppose x is equal to 100. it works. And now when you print x, 10 is no longer there, it is now updated to the value 100. Okay, so can a name of a variable start with a digit? This is the first rule that you need to understand. So for example, can I give a name of variable like 1x is equal to 10, and it says syntax error. So this is the first rule about naming variables that you need to remember, that is, you cannot start a variable name with a digit, although a digit can appear anywhere else in the name of variable, as you can see. Okay, second rule is, can a variable have spaces in between? So if I write x space y is equal to 10, again an error comes, which means you cannot have spaces in between the variable names, but you can have xy is equal to 10, of course. Now the third rule is, can a variable be a keyword? There is something called as keyword in Python, which means a reserved word which has a specific meaning associated to it, and it cannot be used as a variable name. So you will know more about keywords as we go along, but for now you just see to it that if is a keyword. Okay, if written in small letters is a keyword. Now by default, keywords are highlighted with this orange color or dark yellow color, whatever you want to call it. So this is an identification of a keyword in Python. So if you write if is equal to 10, it shows error again. So this is the third rule, that a keyword cannot be used as a variable name. One more important thing that you need to understand at this point of time is that Python is a case sensitive language. Meaning what? Can you do this? If is equal to 10, where if is written in all capital letters. Well, it works, as you can see, which indicates that Python is a case sensitive language. If it is a keyword, if it has to be written in small letters, otherwise it will be treated as just another variable name in that case. Okay, so these are some rules that you need to remember about giving names to variables. There's one more rule about symbols. Okay, so let's try to declare a variable with this name, x star y is equal to 20, and immediately it shows error, which means that you cannot have special symbols such as this asterisk sign in a variable name. Okay, so if you try another symbol x, say for example this percentage sign, y is equal to 20, it doesn't work. X hash y is equal to 20, it doesn't work. Okay, so this is the rule that you need to remember, that special symbols like hash, percentage, star cannot appear anywhere in the variable, not even in the beginning, not afterwards. Okay, although there is one symbol that you can have in your variable names, and that is the underscore sign. Okay, so how do you use it? So let me declare a variable a underscore b is equal to 100. As you can see, there's no problem. When you try to print it, a underscore b, it works fine. And you can even have it in the beginning of a variable name. For example, underscore a is equal to Raj, and if you want to print underscore a, it prints Raj, so it works fine. So just remember, you cannot have the other symbols in your variable names, but you can have the underscore sign. There's one more rule that is about values being treated as a variable. Okay, it is simply not possible. When you say x is equal to 10, x is a variable, but you cannot do this 10 is equal to x. Okay, so 10 is a value and values cannot be treated as variable names. Also, if you write single quotes x is equal to 10, should this be working? No, because again you are specifying a value 10 to a value x. Why am I saying x is a value? Because it is enclosed inside these single quotation marks. So these are some rules that you need to remember about giving names to variables. Now one very important concept should also be discussed here, that is called as data types. Okay, so when you write x is equal to 10, you have to ask yourself what is the nature of value that x is holding right now. So in this case you say x is integer type variable. Okay, why x is integer type of variable? Because it holds integer type of value, a number without decimal point. Similarly, when you say y is equal to 10.56, you can say y is float type of variable. And when you say x is equal to single quotation marks, any name, for example Raj, then what is the type of s? S is a string type of variable. So based on whatever value you store, you can say or you can decide the data type of the variable. So x is integer because it holds integer value, y is float because it holds float type of value, and s is string because it stores string type of value. Also, there are some technical names given to these types that you need to remember. If a value is of type integer, we use or we say int. It is int, int, int in small letters. Okay, this is also a keyword, and in this case it is called as float, and in this case it can be called as string, but technically we call it str in Python. So whenever you write str, remember you mean strings. Okay, so this is the concept of data type. There is one more theoretical concept that you need to remember. There is something called as dynamic typing. Okay, it sounds heavy when you listen to it, but it's very easy concept, guys. Dynamic typing simply means that the type of the variable in Python, the data type of the variable in Python is decided automatically as per the value you assign to it. To simplify things, let me do one thing. X is equal to 10, so x is right now of integer type, its data type is int, and in the very next line if you write x is equal to 10.56, for example 10.56, can you say its data type is still int? No, it is now float. So you don't have to do any extra operation to change the data type from one type to another. Python simply takes care of all this automatically. That's why we say Python is dynamically typed language, according to which we simply mean that variables can change their data type automatically as per the value you assign to them. This is simply not the case with many other programming languages such as C, C++ or Java, where you have to you have to declare the variable along with their data types, and they simply cannot change their data type, so they are not dynamically typed languages. Okay, so I hope you understood the concept of this term called as dynamic typing. Okay, so let's see one more thing here. If you declare a variable x with value 10 and you want to print it on screen, you want to display its output, okay, with print function. So how can you do it? Either you write 10 inside the print statement, the value 10 is printed, but you generally don't know what value a variable is currently holding. It depends on, you know, number of lines written in a program where the value of a variable is frequently changing. So what you can simply do is you can write print x. It gives the same output. So this print x means that whatever value x is storing right now inside it should be printed on screen. So that is very simple thing. Let's do one more thing. Let's declare a variable x again with value 100 this time, y with 200. And if you want to perform addition of these variables, then of course you can write print x plus y. Should I be getting the desired output? The answer is yes. Now remember, in previous video we did something like this: single quotation x plus single quotation y. The double quotes can also be applied here. Okay, it will mean the same. So print x plus y, but x and y are written in quotation marks. So should it be working the same way, or what do you think about the output this time? So let's see. Press enter and it gives xy. Now why did it happen? It happened because x here is no longer treated as a variable. Same is the case with y. They both are strings, okay, because you have enclosed them inside quotation marks. So that way you have changed the meaning or the way Python should treat this whole statement. So Python understands this statement as if you want to join or concatenate these two strings. Now one more experiment. Can you write x plus single quotes 10? Now should this be working? As you know, as far as concatenation is concerned, we can do it between two strings. Okay, we can concatenate two strings, but what we are doing here is we are trying to concatenate an integer value with a string value. Okay, it shows error. Okay, this is because in Python you cannot join one string with another integer. Okay, remember, this is very important for you to remember. But what about this line? You write print x plus 10.56, and in this case it works fine because you are trying to add an integer with a float, and by nature both are numbers, so numbers can be added. But one number one string, or one string one number, it simply doesn't work. Fine. Students often make mistakes in these types of operations, so please take care of this. Same is the case with strings. Like if I have a string s1 is equal to Raj and s2 is equal to Sharma. So this is holding the first name, this is holding this last name of the person, and I want to print the full name on screen. So what I write here, print s1 plus s2. Should this work? Yes, because both are strings here. Okay, and if you want to have space again, you can simply introduce a space here as a string and it works. So it's that simple. So I hope you have understood the concept of concatenation of strings, variables, how to name them, and what happens when you use two different variables in operations like addition. Now one more important thing about this particular statement you need to understand is that when you add an integer with a float type of value, the end result is always float, because float is considered as larger than integer as far as memory size is concerned. So this concept is technically called as type promotion in programming languages, where one type or simply the result is promoted to higher type. So this is what you need to remember. So now let's try two simple programs on these concepts that we have discussed so far, but we are going to make them in script mode. Okay, so it looks a little interactive. So go to file, new file. This is the script window where you write your code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the addition of two numbers first. So I declare a variable, simple, x is equal to 10, another variable y is equal to 20, and I want to add them. So I can simply print x plus y here. But for some reasons, if I want to store the result as well, you can do this by storing the result in a third variable called z. It's not compulsory though in this particular program, but it is always good to store results. So what I write is x plus y, and then if you want to print their addition, what should I type here? Z, because the variable z stores the result. Now as I told earlier in my previous video, the script mod works as a whole. Okay, it is executed as a whole program where all these 4 lines will be executed in one go. So you need to save it first. I'm saving it on desktop. I'm giving it a name as addition.py. Remember, py is the extension of a Python file. Save and go to run, and then run module. So that's it. I have the output 30 on my screen, because 10 plus 20, that is x plus y, is 30, and 30 is stored in z, and then its value is printed. Let's try another program where I want to store first name and last name of a person in two different variables, and then we print the full name. So for example, S1 is equal to Raj, S2 is equal to Sharma. Okay, and you can concatenate them in another string called S3, or you can simply print S1 plus S2. Either ways it works. So S3 is equal to S1 plus some space and then plus S2, and finally print the output. In which variable the output is stored right now? S3. So again we have 4 lines of code. We save it and then we run it. So as you can see, it works the way it should. So this is it about this video, and I hope you understood all the concepts discussed here. This is very important video because all these concepts are very basic concepts of foundation of Python programming language. So I hope you liked it. If you did, then please do like, share and comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.